It was a crisp October morning, and the Healer house was already buzzing with excitement. Halloween had finally arrived. Bluey and Bingo had been counting down the days, making plans, and imagining all the fun they'd have. But there was just one tiny problem. They still didn't know what to dress up as. Bluey had so many ideas. Maybe she could be a vampire, with a long black cape and spooky fangs. Or a pirate, with a hat and an eye patch. Ooh, maybe even a werewolf. But Bingo had completely different plans. She wanted to be something cute and funny. Maybe a pumpkin. Or a fluffy baby penguin. Or, ooh, what about a giant strawberry? The two sisters sat on the living room floor, staring at their open costume box, filled with old dress-up clothes, funny hats, and all sorts of silly accessories. They just couldn't decide. That's when Mum and Dad walked in, holding a big, mysterious box. "All right, kiddos," Dad said with a grin. "This year, we've got a little surprise for you." "A surprise?" Bluey and Bingo gasped. Mum nodded. "This is the Mystery Costume Challenge." "What's that?" Bingo asked, her ears perking up. Mum and Dad set the box down and explained the rules. Bluey and Bingo had to pick their Halloween costumes without looking. They would reach into the mystery box, and whatever costume they pulled out, they had to wear for trick-or-treating. Bluey's eyes widened. "Wait, so we don't get to choose?" Dad chuckled. "Nope, that's the fun part." Bingo giggled. "Oh, I want to go first." She reached into the box, feeling around the soft fabrics and funny shapes inside. After a few seconds, she grabbed something and pulled it out. And when she saw it, she gasped. It was a flying spaghetti monster costume. It had giant googly eyes, wiggly noodle arms, and even two big meatballs on the shoulders. It was ridiculous. And Bingo loved it. She burst into laughter, waving her noodle arms in the air. "Look! I'm a spaghetti monster." Bluey clapped her paws. "That's so funny." Okay, my turn." She reached into the box, closed her eyes tight, and pulled out a zombie ballerina costume. It had a sparkly pink tutu, but also spooky grey face paint and little cobweb decorations. It was half elegant, half creepy, totally unexpected. Bluey grinned. "Whoa! I'm like a ballerina and a zombie. This is actually kinda awesome." Just then, Muffin and Socks arrived to see the big costume reveal. When they saw Bingo flapping her spaghetti arms and Bluey twirling in her tattered tutu, they burst into giggles. "You look like a wobbly spaghetti ghost," Muffin squealed, pointing at Bingo. Bingo wiggled her noodles and shouted, "Noodle attack!" Everyone laughed. With their costumes all set, it was finally time for trick-or-treating. Mum and Dad handed them their candy buckets, and the Healer family stepped outside into the crisp, cool Halloween air. The whole neighborhood was decorated. Glowing pumpkins lined the sidewalks, spooky music played from the houses, and kids dressed as all sorts of funny, creepy, and adorable creatures ran from house to house, collecting candy. The first stop was Chloe's house. She was dressed as a glow-in-the-dark ghost, and when she opened the door, she let out a big "Oh." Bluey and Bingo giggled as they shouted, "Trick or treat!" Chloe's parents handed out chocolate bars, and Bluey and Bingo cheered. One house down, a whole night of adventure to go. Next, they visited Rusty's house. He was dressed as a cowboy mummy, wrapped in bandages, but also wearing a cowboy hat and boots. Rusty tipped his hat and said, "Howdy, partners! Happy Halloween!" Then came Snickers, who was dressed as a giant hot dog. His bun costume was so puffy that he could barely walk, and everyone laughed as he waddled to the door to get his candy. House after house, Bluey and Bingo filled their buckets with chocolates, lollipops, and all sorts of sweet treats. The night was going perfectly, until they reached the last house on the street. The spooky house. It stood at the very end of